Hi guys, and welcome to a new fresh start of today where we evaluate and talk about Doomsday and the event, how it went, how it turned out, how it was, how it will be, and the upcoming Thursday matches. So, what can be good matches? What are the default winner matches? And invite as many as you want. We will review those groups, check out for interesting matches. Some surprises we will also see, but also some that already kicked out of the tournament alliances. And that is what we're going to do in the next time. So let's go on. So literally, let's talk about Val. How to say that? Val match against TVC. I mean, like that they got 22k is already more like a nice move from Val, and also OCD. I mean, like they got double the amount of points. But let's say I'm not entirely surprised. So that is really what was expected to be. On the other side, PHX NFU, that was well expected. PHX moved on. Here we had one of the good matches, TZK versus Hot. Really close one, really good one. That was really worth to check out and watch. Sadly, TZK didn't manage to surprise us even further, so we got Val versus PHX, and the outcome will be also not entirely surprising. Val will move on and probably win that group. So here we will see Val as top one. And on the other side, there was RPX versus OMG. Well, we see the result, not really thrilling matches. And that is the sad part. We had some really thrilling matches in round one already, where some alliances got kicked out of the tournament right away that would easily, in a different group, survive the first round. And so we have really low amount of good matches in those parts. And also here we had that one was also a pretty good one, ASN versus WOH. Luckily for ASN, but ASN got RPX. That was a victory for them. But the next match, well, I don't know. It will be like this one. For ASN, I mean, like, they won't stand a chance against SSP, so that will be a default victory for both sides. And, well, SSP will fight against Val, and the outcome will be, surprisingly, Val goes to upper bracket, SSP will go to lower bracket, so there won't be a good fight really expected to be who will go to final stage. Let's check out the next group, and if you have anything you want to drop in the chat, drop it in the chat. We will watch it and check it more detailed out if you have anything that you want to discuss more detailed. So let's move on to group two. Group two, well, VIP. Shall we show? I mean, like, I don't know what to say about that. So Sky literally annihilated PTH, VIP annihilated literally Triple S, and after that, VIP annihilated Sky. Well, that we will see more often. I'm not really entirely surprised about that outcome, to be honest. And then we have this one. And honestly, I had my list, and I'm gonna share that with you. What I thought could be interesting ones. Hi, Ori. So I expected KSD versus RNG could be interesting. Could be. Let's check out. That does not feel so super close, so good. Well, that was seriously, that was not that good one. And XYU versus 1, also not that super interesting. XYU versus RNG, Also boring as fuck. And then we see VIP versus XYU. Surprise, surprise. VIP will be top 32. VIP will go up to the upper bracket. No question at all. Funny would be if the VIP on the other side would have advanced and we would see VIP versus VIP, but sadly, they faced PRM in round 1 and got also pretty slapped out of the tournament. Not surprised at all. And SAN, they also got a pretty boring matchup yet. GRD, no real contender for them. They won also pretty heavily against PRM, so they will face WoW's fight yet. Boring, sorry to say. Not offensive meant against Sky, but uh, the seeding of that one was literally rubbish. And then WoW versus B. And I really hoped for also here a good matchup, but you see the results. There was a chance at the beginning for B, but they really got kicked out of it. And well, Sun versus WoW, I have really low hopes for WoW on that one. United Autobots org. Goodbye. I'm sorry for you on Thursday, but goodbye. Let me check out. We have first matches already checked out. Who will stream that one? And well, I see you on Thursday, 12 UTC. Sun versus UL. I mean, like, I really hope for surprises. I'm all in for surprises or good matches. But well, I believe SAN will go and fight VIP. Okay, let's be honest. We won't see a surprise here. No, that was just kidding me. That will be VIP and lower bracket will be SAN. That's what I assume. Group 3. Yeah, well, surprising that MFC is moving on the rankings. So on that side, SYG against MFC. Let's be honest, the outcome won't surprise any of us. MFC should win this. If MFC really does not win this, I have no clue what happens. Because that is a default victory for MFC. There are some other matches we will review, and also surprises we will come later on, where I really say I hoped for such, but I didn't expect it. Well, DTC, bam, that was, even though there's 100k difference at the end, that was still not a so close match. It will be an interesting match, but MFC should still win that if you have in mind how many big guns are at MFC, and all of them have literally all 3 behemoth marches. So at tanks, latest, MFC should bring that home. That's my opinion on that one. DTC won against Brothers and Monkeys. My hometowns, guys. Great name. SHC against MFC. Well, they got 42k. MFC versus DTC, also really one-sided, over 600k for MFC. Means they got a lot and literally probably all tanks. Stole Your Glory against PNC. Well, also we see result here. SOS as well. That one was also pretty one-sided. If you see here, over 200k difference, literally. I hope there as well for a closer matchup, but it was not that close. SYG won that. And that one is, for me, a really nice matchup. BOB versus Heroes in Pyjamas, I hope for a closer matchup, but well, literally BOB won that pretty much. And sadly, that was, for Heroes in Pyjamas, that was a mean matchup, because if you see the other fight here, it was close, but literally, yeah, definitely Circle at MFC, but they have more. They have Elita and so on, so they have really a strong second setup of rally leads. And as we saw that in our match on Sunday, if you have one super strong rally lead where you can't reset that person. You can stack your other rally leads in a different building and have always the option to change your counter marches. And that is what is really great. If you have such a rally lead that's nearly unresettable for the opponent, then that is mean. So we had MFC a couple of, 2 weeks or so ago, in our Immortal Arena. Sir Carl was the one fighting with Paul for rank 1. And now we have OFA out from Ashes, and holy moly, they have a dude that is also a different type of breed. So they had a boring first round. That what you see here. They had a boring second round, but now that one could be interesting. OFA versus BOB, and that is a match that I might stream as well, because I think that is such an incredible good potential for a matchup, because OFA has really some strong guys, BOB great in strategy, so I really like to see that match and outcome. And here we have MFC versus the winner, and that I wouldn't say it's default victory for MFC, so there might be a surprise coming if the main lead of OFA is able to reset what Auri also said in the chat, able to reset that, guys. So here I really expect at the fight for the upper and lower bracket, there can be a surprise, in my opinion, on Sunday. That is for Sunday, but before we will see OFA versus BOB, and that might be super interesting. Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if OFA will win against BOB. And so this group has really some potential for interesting fights. Not like in group 1 and 2 on Thursday fights, they are boring. The fights on Sunday, they're sorry to say, but they're boring. The winner is pretty. Here, I wouldn't say that at all, because the matches between MFC and Stole Your Glory can be super interesting, between Out from Ashes and Beast of Blood can be interesting, and also the fight for the upper and lower bracket can be interesting. So that is, for me, one of the best groups where you have chances for good and close matches in all 3 upcoming fights. So Group 3, great constellations that are there. Not like, sorry to say, Group 1, Group 2, where you have default winners with VIP and Val. Group 4, as much as I respect and love Kingdom of Blood Cobb with Evans City, Monroeville, and what they created over the whole time of State of Survival. I mean, like, they are State 30, so they're pretty much early in 2019 when the game just started, and they kept it all the time as a contending good alliance. But I doubt that they will win against LAM. LAM has just a fair amount of power, and at latest with tanks, I would say at that moment LAM will have the difference in power. At the buildings, I'm quite not sure, because there is Evans City and Monroeville who always good to reset buildings, but latest at tanks, this one is in favor to LAM. Here we have Drunk Penguin Union, First Order Valhalla. That should be in favor to First Order Valhalla in terms of power. In terms of strategy, well, Auri, you remember that time where we faced them at uh, State versus State? They won against Raw pretty high, so the other opponent, FFS, was not that strong at all. The best match they had against Raw, and that is where they literally easily kicked them out. And I doubt that Drunk Penguin Union will be able to beat those. So they really had a walk in the park. That was what Auri also stated in the chat. That is really a gift at all. And if you compare that with other matches in round one, they had no really contending match at all to get into top 32, which is really a disgrace for those alliances that got kicked in round one because they faced really strong opponents directly. So that is really sad. My tip on that one is Lamb will win the bracket and FOV goes to lower bracket, even though if they would face KOB, I would doubt that they had such an easy match. Let's check out who they had in the group. FOV Group A. I can't recall where I was in the group. So let's check out who they faced already. Here we see that one. Yeah, well, BOB, great one, SSP, and here we had, and I doubt that they would stand also, even though they have been an A, that means nothing, as we saw that also in other matches. So let's move on. We had Group 4. So FOV had a pretty easy walk in the park. Can't say that differently. That might be an interesting fight. State Avengers versus EDM. I will check that in a bit, Ari. But let me check. 198 versus EDM. I think that I will stream as well. That will be on Thursday at 15 UTC, together with a different match. I will jump between that one and a second match that we will see later. But I hope that this one will be interesting. So if we take that format, I would have really and honestly 342 will win this on that side. And I would say they also win that group for sure, upper bracket. And the winner of this one, I really can't say who will advance. So 342 will probably beat German Fun Factory. I do not get the DNO to German Fun Factory, so that abbreviation to the long name, um, they get annihilated. And here, hopefully, interesting match. 198, as far as I know, plays for pretty long time already together. And EDM is from a more newer state, but really looking forward to that fight on Thursday, 15 UTC in Group 5. And 4-2 will win this, and the winner of that one will go to lower bracket. Okay, that one here. Sorry for Core, but Avalanche family will definitely go to that match. They had no challenging with Hot. And that is one of those examples. If Hot would be put on a different place, a different group, a different setup, but they got directly first round eliminated by Elf just because they faced them, and not because they're super weak or such. And also on that one here, Lid had an opponent. Ivan, that one is a great one. I like the video and got 200 Selima fragments. Well, that would be great if we could get that. Well, Pun had no opponent, and Pal pretends to be weak, but they have a pretty strong lead with Kokos, and well, they might struggle once they face Pun at tanks. That might be where they could struggle, because Pan has some strong players, but Pal has Kokos, who's literally also a one-man army in there. That one was a great fight. Fun versus C. That was really a great fight. Definitely worth to watch that. I streamed that with some others because I jumped there in the last 15 minutes. Great fight. Really respect to both sides. They really tried. Pal, that one was not really interesting. And Pun will win this, but I think they got into lower bracket because Elf will go to upper brackets. That are my bets on that one. And Group 7, well, DTS, I mean, like, TNE 398, I don't know what to say about that. That is a strong team normally, but they had disadvantage, and any team had the disadvantage to face DTS in the first round, but they could advance in any other match up in any other grouping. They would be easily going further, but well, they are the bad lucks, guys. And here we see DTS versus MMT, also really one-sided. And now we will see DTS will annihilate Rock as well. So top 32 upper bracket DTS, no question at all in that one for me. UND versus UNI, I expected that match to be closer, honestly. That was my bet, that this will be closer, and I wouldn't have or couldn't state it on my point of view who will advance from that fight. Tier X was a self-fulfilling prophecy that they will advance. That one also not close at all. Tier X was also my bet to advance here. UNN, of course, versus PDF. Uh, well, I mean, like, they didn't even manage to get 20k. That says everything. PDF versus DND was before a more close fight, but that fight was absolutely one-sided. So this might be also an interesting good fight. Tier X versus UNN will be streamed on Thursday by Whisker at 15 UTC. So that will be also interesting. CHN, I think they got also kicked out of the tournament already, but we will go there soon and maybe find them. One versus HNS, not really close at all. Zip versus RFA, also not close, but here we had a super tight match. I think that could be the tightest match we had in the elimination rounds. So that one, definitely great fight. Super close. I mean, like, what were we talking about here? 400 points at the end. I think this could be the super closest match in elimination bracket. 400 points at the end. That is potentially one puddle or two. So crazy close. That one was also a great fight. That was a 60k difference, but super great fight. Streamed that. Loved the fight between them. Some strategic small issues that could have changed the match, the outcome, but at minimum the result could be even closer with some small decisions. If Digi burned, I don't know if Digi burned at his matches. Might be. We can ask him if he joins later on. BJS versus TSM. Well, TSM had no chance against BJS. Other matchups, TSM could have advanced a bit, but BJS will probably also beat 1 and go for top 32. On the other side, KRE versus Sao, no challenge at all. Sorry for Sao. Triple X versus TDF, also pretty one-sided, 140k difference. And then, well, that's also no surprise. 719 versus WSU. Tremendous victory for 719. FNC versus Old, also no really close one. But after that, FNC got shown their limits from 719. And KRE versus 719 will be interesting. That will be a really, really great fight. I hope so. I have the feeling that 719 could advance this a bit more. They had really strong leads, but also KRE, we just had them in King of the Hill, so that was an intense battle, and we will see this on Thursday at 19 UTC, KRE versus 719. I really hope that this is a good fight, but I believe that whoever of those two advances might be challenged by BJS. I mean, like, that will be a fight on Sunday, so who doesn't like BJs on Sunday? So that will be also an interesting matchup. Oh yeah, but it was just one person who stated that we are cheating at King of the Hill, which I really don't get where we cheated um till now. So that has at least minimum one good fight between KRE versus 719, but also after that could be a good fight on Sunday, BJS versus the winner of that matchup. So here we can see a potential surprise in that fight. REQ versus AKF. REQ, well, they had an easy walk on their side. You see that on the results here. AKF against SFU, well, sorry for SFU, but they had no chance. AKF versus Ivy, I expected or hoped for a better matchup from Ivy against AKF, but they had struggled to even reset Galneris at all, so that was their issue. And this one, well, based on raid score, this should be absolutely dominated by REQ, but as always, there's a strong guy also at AKF, and that is why it might be more interesting how powerful Galneris is against the leads of REQ, but I believe REQ will advance. On the other side, Ada won't have an issue with most amazing family. Sorry guys, as much as you are amazing, but well, Ada has a pretty strong team. You see that at the result against Rhythm and Mafia. Here they killed already the first Mafia. I believe that they will at least similar names also get annihilated, and the fight for that one might be interesting with Ader Nakal family versus REQ. So that might be interesting. So this match can be interesting depending on how good they can reset Galneris or how much Galneris can reset REQ. And in that fight here, Ada with Kaylee, with Aoife, and they have really well built accounts. um, yeah, Ori is always cheating. She spies everything. No matter the opponent, she spies everything. And that might be also a good fight on Sunday, Ada versus REQ. So there are chances for surprise. That is definitely chances for surprise. Where I would say these groups have potentials. Group 10, and well, let me say that directly, there is chance for surprise. There is definitely a chance for surprise. Based on raid score, A and B should win this easily. That's based on raid score. But let's check out the qualifier again. And there was A and B also in one of the groups. OSS, new pun, no. Ada, Ada got here. 719 is super strong, as we saw that here. 719 against Ada. That was before. Yeah, some of the matches are talk about Thursday, and some are on Sunday. What I expect them to happen. So I'll talk about both matches. So if I assume the result will be that one. So 719 is really strong. WWR got already kicked out, but that we will talk about. Yeah, but that was before the transfers for the reset things. But we had I was looking for A and B got pretty outplayed by BOB already. So I'm not that super convinced about the parts of A and B, and ALS has also strong leads with Iris and Fulmuti. Toss, I don't get what you mean. So on Thursday. Oh, oh, yeah, you're right. On Sunday there are no matches. You're absolutely correct. Sorry, thank you for the correction, Toss. This Thursday and on next week's Thursday. Absolutely correct. So ALS versus A and B. ALS has Iris Fulmunti guys, so I wouldn't just because the rate score has such a difference. I wouldn't go and say A and B can win this. That is not a default victory. Yeah, it's because they want to finish this on a Thursday, so the finals start on Sundays. And yeah, well, TFA, let's be honest, against Gen, that's just a ridiculous match. SPK got their match, and I mean, like, they got pretty annihilated by TFA. Gen had no opponent, and literally they got also a walk in the park till top 64. That's so ridiculous. If you see which alliances got kicked out in round 1, and now you see the results, that will be an even worse matchup than TFA had at the top 128 match. If TFA play serious, I believe that Gen will struggle to even get close to 50k. If they play it full seriously, they won't have the score that Smelly Pirate Killers had. So that's pretty mean. If you get kicked out against those alliances that you could normally beat if you would be on the other pass. But still, the tournament mode should be generally changed in terms of A stays in A, better rewards, closer matches, more interesting matches. And yeah, as what Ari also said in the chat, please like the chat. Do not react to it. That you can do as well. But liking, there is a sump below the video. That would be great if you would also put it and sump up. Group 11, and here is what I really want to say. That is, I expected it to be close, but the biggest surprise for me, even though I bet for a close match, is that Ace and how Ace beat WWR. That is insanely good. So that was incredible. How heavily they could beat WWR. After that, they got the walk in the park. That would be the same if WWR would have beaten Ace. Yeah, Bird Alive, I think so also that 719, especially how they beat their group in A in the qualifiers. I would also go for 719. Where was it? 719 was in Group 8. Yeah, I believe also 719 will advance, and I'm quite not sure if BJS will beat 719 as well. So that's why I said that will be interesting matches. Here Ace versus EOP. I believe also Ace. Yeah, but Jen also had no tremendous victory that just because you have people in top 30 is no guarantee. And I mean, like, how many of TFA are in top 30 in various top 30s? So don't believe that Jen will be that good. And SPK has also some strong players in global top 100 leaderboards somewhere. So that is why I think TFA will annihilate them, and TFA will be the alliance that wins also. No matter if ALS will beat A and B, I doubt that they will be able to beat TFA. Then Ace will win against EOP. I doubt that EOP will be able to win against Ace, honestly. Especially after I saw how they played against WWR. That was a different breed of playing. KOF had also a walk in the park here. TNR, no chance. Mart had no chance at all. Dan against Koff, well, that is also KOF got literally an absolutely walk in the park in that grouping. But also here, um, I'm quite not sure if KOF will win against Ace. I'm quite not sure. Just from raid score, 29 million versus 26. But let's be honest, WWR had something also around 35 million, and that was nothing that stopped Ace from beating WWR that tremendously. So that could be next week, Thursday. Thank you, Toss, for the info. Next week, Thursday, the match of Ace versus KOF. Just stomach feeling. Ace will move to upper bracket. Great gameplay. They know their stuff. Well played. So WWR don't. Evil Darkness. I don't know, but Evil Darkness is pretty insane strong. So I'm not sure. And Ace has a couple of leads that are super strong. Reba is. Oh, then he stopped spending, but he was for sure a top tier. But he was for long absolutely insane. But anyways, still I would go for Ace. And here we have BOB versus XXR. Well, here the raid score is just as crazy different as it can be. I don't know. I think the match against BIA. Well, first. Yeah. So at the end, I think that match will be Ace versus KOF will be super interesting. So that will be one of the matches next Thursday that are definitely really great to watch. Um, and now we're coming closer. And here, honestly, RIP, that is an example of an alliance that really didn't deserve to be kicked out in round one. Um, Also, if you check out 53G, could just cross the 200k, and they gave them such a hard fight. BRS. So, well, that is me. I'm crying for RIP, but well, luckily I have my tissue holder with me, so that works really great. But I'm really sorry for RIP that they got kicked out that way in round one. That was really not deserved to be that kicked out that way. And SSY versus BRS, that will be also an interesting fight. From rate score perspective, it's close. BRS has some crazy strong guys like Popovic, so they're not maybe ultra elites, but they have really done their stuff. So they're quite great. BOB will definitely easily advance to top 32, and also think that BOB will be win that group and Sterlet as well. And they have also a fair amount of strong people that can sit at tanks on top, and have fun there. So that will be also interesting to see that one. But I believe BOB will win against the winner of that match, even though I might think that BRS will advance in top 32 but will lose against BOB. It depends on which BOB it is. I saw one BOB that played really great and the other was okay. Jean-Philippe, which alliance are you playing in? Yeah, so that is definitely interesting. So that will be interesting to see BRS. We know that quite aggressively playing. Um, Also spacecraft, I think already at level over level 7, level 10 at Popovich. I think we saw that one as well already. So they boost the new stuff really good. Oh yeah, BOB will definitely have an easy walk in the park against XXR. Sorry to say, but that is not streamable. Interesting to see. That is a default victory. If you're gonna lose that match, well, I'm quite shocked, honestly. And yeah, KOF is new states. There are a couple of new states, and inflation of the BP in the ratings are always also a thing that might get confused. And well, okay, that is my group. Let me get my tissues ready. We are out. Um, we are out really, really badly. We had fun against SAS, but well, that was it would be more interesting for us if we faced FUG here. That could be an interesting fight more. Um, yeah, well, in that fight we didn't have any expectations at all. That was we knew that we're gonna get slapped out of the tournament in that match. But I would have loved to be in that part and see if we could have a chance against FUG, and well, would be the winner would have been kicked out by SAS because SAS will definitely uh, beat also FUG. Kali is absolutely insane, and if FUG can't reset Kali at all, then the advantage of oh, there's someone salty. There is someone salty. Um, but if you can't reset Kali, the advantage of SAS is they can just put Anya, BBG, and who else into one building and switch all the time the counter. So that is the big advantage. If you have someone like Kali, and that can't be reset by any of your guys, then you can stack the other buildings and make that even harder to reset on top because you can switch all the time the leads. And well, seems like some people from SAS don't take it easy that we're talking about Kali, but it's just the fact. Without Kali, that match would be more interesting with Kali stacking all strong others in. No one buildings for stack. Ah, I show you reports from Solar Power Station where you had BBG, Anya, and else in there. So well, literally, SAS will win this. I don't know why they are getting so salty. Honestly, you won that. Take it and stop crying about it. Don't get how you can be so salty after you won. Um, SAS will win this, but God will also beat Nemesis out of the tournament, and God, high chance, will also win that bracket, and SAS will move to lower bracket. I think the amount of strong players in GOD um, will be just too much, especially at tanks latest. That will, yeah, well, oh my god. Well, TBF, if you don't like it, then just choose a different creator. Mate, you won, we said it, and that you got so salty is really, I don't know, poor, being a poor winner. And then 69, yeah, NM6 had definitely a walk in the park that they would, uh, yeah, they had really no. That was a close match, honestly. So we have 69. Well, that was an interesting match. Not at all. And then we had 69 versus AFA, also not really interesting. So they had also a walk in the park till now. And JFM, also no real opponent yet. JFM, based on raid score, should win this, but we will see. Maybe Snort at Helipad will win the match for them. And here also NOP. NOP had pretty much the biggest present as well. I think in Group 3 we had something similar, where one side really got a present and NOP got a super easy walk in the park on their side. There's no one challenging at all against them. You see that in the results. There was really a joke, and that is really sad because NOP, I think they could be kicked out by various alliances already in round 1, in round 2, in round 3, but they got a super easy walk in the park. They will lose probably against the winner of that match for sure. I think if one of those two alliances would be on that side, NOP would be kicked out of the tournament at that point. Also here, the Illuminati Mason also had an easy walk in the park till top 64, but I believe 668 will kick out TIM. They got also a walk in the park. That's what we see here, but they struggled against IDG already. So IDG, sad for those guys, they gave them a hard challenge, but Tim won't be a challenge for 668. And OSS also have no real opponent. They had no opponent in round 1. They had no opponent in round 2, and OSS won't have any opponent in the group stage. Also, KRT had a pretty easy walk in the park. NSO versus what the fuck are we doing? that is for WTF. That one was also in favor for KRT, and KRT has been allowed to play for top 32 but won't win this. Winner of that bracket will be OSS, and loser of that bracket but advancing will be 668. And here's also a, a small surprise. A small surprise we saw here, and that was that ROP, Rise of the Phoenix, got kicked out by Dunn. And that was a small surprise. I didn't expect that ROP is as strong as it was in the past, but that it got kicked out by Dunn was still a small surprise, to be honest. NRB versus BKB, also one-sided for NRB, RFA, one-sided for RFA, NRB, also one-sided for NRB. So we got NRB versus Don, and I believe Don will win their side. But honestly, that group was really not strong. So here they seeded a lot of not so strong alliances aside New. New is definitely the strong part in that group. But overall, Group 16 was chance for various alliances that got kicked out early in the tournament, who could fight for top 32 in this group, definitely, but they got kicked out in round 1. So seeding issue. Overall, New will win against NOP, Don will win against NRB, and then it might be interesting, New versus Don. So that could be really interesting. Who will advance to upper and who will move to lower bracket? Fight next week Thursday will be interesting in Group 16, Don versus New. That are what I think about all those groups, and that's all I say about the elimination stage. So this week Thursday will be some interesting fights we're going to see, and next week's Thursday will be interesting some of the other fights for the top 32. So we have a few selectable that are great to see this Thursday and next week Thursday as well. Information about which will be streamed by whom will be shared today or tomorrow, depending on the preparation. And thank you guys for joining the stream at Tuesday noon as preparation for Thursday and partially also next Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye, guys. Bye bye. Have a good day.